Hello, Marius. Hmm. How do I, hmm, how do I reply to the live chat? I'm not sure how to do that. Also, welcome to the first YouTube
Hello,
stream.
Marius.
The first YouTube live stream for Tim the Tech Guy 3TG um, in our new setup here. We have a whole room to just doing
How do I
silly videos where I throw my Diet Coke on the disc.
how do I
Yeah,
reply to the live chat?
I'm not sure how to do that. Excuse me. Oh, okay. Well, oh, yeah. So, also there's a delay, and I'm not entirely sure how this works. Um, yes, there was a delay because I had myself unmuted on several other things. I've like 3 instances of this video going. And hello, Windows G Electronics, and welcome to the first live stream for Tim the Tech Guy channel. It's probably going to be monumentally boring since there's like 4 of us here, 3 of us here, something like that. However, I wanted to get this set up, and I did finally get YouTube streaming to work with OBS, and I have learned a little about OBS, and I've even made a little weird background and arrangement of cameras here, which seems to work. I have 2 cameras. I have just a basic Logitech web camera mounted on my workstation computer, and up here, which is what you see here, this is actually a recycled Elmo document camera. something like you would see in a school classroom. So this is doing sort of the overhead, and it's handy because you can actually kind of zoom in on things if you want to do that. Also, I may or may not have made a clickbaity type title that everybody seems to do on their YouTube videos. But there is truth to that, because this right here on the bench is the can we sort of save it thing. Now, when I say can we save it, let's set our standards here. This is not a Steve Mac 84 video. This is not a Brankus Creations. This is not a Bruce video. I do not have anything on this bench to do any soldering work, anything. Until I can get that equipment over here to the new space, we might be able to get it going, but I won't be able to film very much of the actual any repair. This may not need very much repair if we're lucky. But I will show you all here in a second. Hey, Dysfunctional Wombat, welcome to the chat. So we will kind of go through this pile of stuff that I found in my storage locker today, which was my adventure for the day. Hopefully, always a hopefully in this world, we can I can do some more streaming on this channel and some other things, and I don't know. Hopefully this setting works for. It doesn't look terrible. It doesn't look great. I have a challenge lighting system in this room because the only lights that I have are over here behind me. There's oddly no lights on this side of the room, and so I have an overhead light that is on the document camera above me, and I have a sort of an overhead lamp up here, and then I have one of those little, I don't know what you call them, weird little selfie rings that are below me here. So it's a start. I'll work on it as we go. So I don't know if anybody has any questions. I only have one monitor on the bench here, so I have to Alt-Tab back and forth between, if you're messaging me on Discord, I don't have a way to easily check that. So the only thing I can see, the only thing I can really see here is the OBS has like a little window here that shows me the chat. Although I don't know how to, or if I can respond to the chat. I think it maybe is just telling me that you have a chat, which is useful, that I can't actually respond to it. Yes, Marius, it is the same document camera you probably have at a school, because this came from a school and I had two broken ones and I built one out of two. One was completely dead, and one had a broken, there's a little like knob zoom in dial on the side, so I sort of cannibalized one and made the other. They're kind of neat. They're USB webcams. They work just like that. They even have microphones on them if you're so inclined. They have a light. They can zoom in, they can zoom out. OBS and Discord sees it as a webcam device. The frame rate on it's not great. Quality's okay when you zoom in, and it's better than nothing. It's a nice kind of overhead camera that you can adjust. So until I find some way to get a better camera, this is what's going to be used on the bench here. And I don't know, the lighting situation is not ideal, but it gives an idea of what's going on here. Plus I can do this neat thing here where I can switch views. I can just switch back and forth so you can see more what's going on here. It's not going to be tiny. So when we get to talking about this a little bit more, I can do that. I made two scenes for that, so it just switches them best I can. This is all very new to me, so if this sucks terribly, well, you have to start somewhere. So I'm going to go here and look. Also, if anybody is in the market for a USB keyboard type thing, this is a Logitech K400R. It is a little trackpad-esque type keyboard, and when I bought this, I thought this would be a great addition to the workbench, because it's compact, it has a trackpad. It is quite possibly the worst keyboard that has ever been made in the history of keyboards and trackpads. It's terrible. You can't use the trackpad whatsoever without clicking or dragging everything you do. It has no sensitivity to what you're trying to do. If you're just moving the mouse around, sometimes it just latches on to things and moves them around as it feels, which is a great feature. I think I don't know what R. I'm going to come up with some creative replacement for the letter R in it. It's the K400 reject. I don't know. They make a newer version of this that is grayish. It's sort of like a gray and yellow combination. It is much better. Also, this thing, and you can't see it very easily, it has a very weird layout over here. Like the shift key is like way over here and it's a chiclet, and then the space bar doesn't really line up. It's hard to type on, and if you're trying to type like a question mark, it doesn't work because the question mark is on the other side of the up arrow key. And whoever thought that was a great idea? I mean, I don't know. Maybe I have too high of standards for Logitech. Maybe. I don't know. But it's a terrible keyboard. Serves the purpose here for space saving, and I don't have anything else down here to use right now. So the other problem is more than half of my technology hoard is still at my house, and it's not here yet. Behind me here are going to be shelves with various pieces of equipment on them. And behind me back there, which you can kind of see, those are going to be the display computers. So there's going to be some more tables back there, and there's going to be like some old Macs. I've got a TRS-80 that's going to go back there and some other stuff. And the idea is the stuff that will go on the tables that's working. And most of my stuff is actually functional. Well, until it breaks, because, hashtag vintage computers, they all break. They will all break. They will eventually stop working, so then you have to fix them. So I have a Mac Plus that's to the left of me here off the bench, and it's going to have some work done. The hard drive recently quit working in it. Might put that on the bench to see what's going on with that. I need to come up with some way to film it because, this isn't really going to work real well with looking at a computer. So I'll have to come up with some way to capture it, which I might be able to use. This might have to get a third webcam. I'm not sure. And if anybody's done this before and they have tips, I would love to hear your tips of how you film your machines, etc. And my Apple Watch is reminding me that I should buy more Domino's pizza. I'm inclined to agree with it. Yeah, Marius. The keyboard is absolutely infuriating sometimes. It's actually, I didn't just buy it. I've had it for a while, but it's one of those things that it drives you crazy. Absolutely drives you crazy. That piece of metal sitting on the keyboard, on the board, looks like an iBook G3. This, I will switch cameras here. And yes, Windows G Electronics. This is the guts of a Rev A iMac G3 that is sitting here. So a little back history to that, if anybody is concerned or wants to know. I guess it doesn't matter because we'll say it anyway. So I still have my original iMac G3 that I bought like 99 or 2000. It was my first new Mac computer that I ever owned right out of high school. And I had kept it in storage for years, like a lot of us maybe do. So I'll be 40 years old this year, and I'm getting old. And so when I was in high school, and maybe some of you have already heard this story, so I'm sorry. But so when I was in high school, things like Mac Pluses and Mac SEs and these 90s Macs or 80s and 90s Macs and Apple IIs were extremely cheap. Nobody wanted them. The late 90s were sort of an era of how fast, how good of technology, and how the expansion rate of like the consumer computer scene in the late 90s was insane. We went from like 1992 or 1993 where people were still using like Tandy 1000 TLs and Mac Pluses, before the internet age, and people were still using those on the daily because they still did exactly what they wanted. Nobody did internet, nobody did AOL, and all of the internet stuff was new. So having an old computer wasn't really that big of a deal in the early 90s because computers outside of some video games didn't really change much since the early 80s. So once sort of the mid to late 90s technology boom really got underway, the old stuff it went to Goodwill, it went to wherever it was cheap. You could find it in the trash bin. So in that period, I was in middle and high school, and I like computers, so I would just go spend every little money I had at Goodwill, and I would go buy whatever was cheap and whatever was free, and I'd go get it and hoard it. Um, so fast forward to the early 2000s, after high school and moving out on my own, I realized I don't really have a lot of space for things in my small apartment because when you're starting out, you don't have any money. So a lot of my stuff, unfortunately, ended up in a storage unit. Storage units are terrible. If you are ever trying to convince yourself to get a storage unit, don't, because it will ruin all of your stuff unless you have the money to get like an air conditioned or heated one, which I didn't. So a lot of the equipment that I have ended up in storage because even though I loved old machines, at one point I did move on and decide that I wanted something modern. And I hate to admit that, but I sort of left a lot of the old stuff in those storage units, not really thinking about them, out of sight, out of mind kind of thing. And so here I am in 2020 through 22, just kind of bringing it all out of storage and seeing what's still salvageable. Um, so my original, back to the story because I'm a rambler. My original iMac got put into storage probably in 2007 or 8, somewhere around there, and it sat out there forever. I brought it home. It had a max cell battery in it, and it exploded and took the whole system board with it. Now, over the years, I have collected other older iMac G3s. So I have a whole, you can't see it over here really, but I have a whole other, today at storage, I located an entire complete Rev A Bondi. And this is an extra motherboard, and I'm going to actually switch cameras here. So this is an entirely different, whole complete, chassis. It's got the CD-ROM is here. We still got the original hard drive, and this one's a 4.3 AT quantum drive. And actually, we can zoom in if you guys want to do that. This thing does really nice zoom. Yeah, so we can kind of, if I can figure out how to move it on the bench that corresponds to the document camera. But yeah, you can see right here, we've got 4.3 AT. I have no idea if this still works, but we might find out soon because I have another iMac chassis over here. I actually have my original chassis at home, which I will bring over, and so I can see if this works. Now, the little clickbait part of the whole video is that I don't know if this is any good, and I'll show you why in a minute. I'm going to zoom back out here. The zoom thing is actually kind of neat. I can't lie. I think it's neat. It makes me feel almost like I have the cool, weird cameras like some of the better YouTubers have, but I like to pretend. So yes, there's a host of things because this is how I pulled it out of the box. Apparently, I have a Windows XP Home Edition and Pro license key written here on a piece of paper. That's handy. I've got the part of the CD door for this CD drive. Okay, and I have that. This is probably out of an iBook G3. I don't know where it came from or why it's on top of here, but it probably is. You're right. Set that aside, and then I think this is an actual memory stick for this. It's a PC-133 256 meg stick. The lighting is weird over here. But yeah, so yeah, 256 megs. I just said that. I'm with it today. So yeah, so maybe this works, and maybe this can be used in a non-working Bondi. I'm actually going to go scroll through the chat because now I see why other YouTubers do this, because the chat kind of goes and then you're talking and you don't really notice it. Thank you, Marius. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So it is a poor thing. The piece of metal. Okay. Yes. Yes, Marius. I do believe that it is. I do believe it is a iBook part. And I guess I've lost everybody else here. So it may just be you that's left. No one else is showing up. Okay. So give me just a second here. I don't know if I lost. I think, yeah, I think I might have lost Aaron. Anyway, we'll keep moving. Maybe he'll come back. I don't know how this works, and I can't tell how people are who are here and who's not. But anyhow, so the reason that I say that can this be saved is because even though when I first looked at this board, I did not see something that I should have paid more attention to. And let's see here. Let me go. I'm also not very fast at this, so you'll have to bear with me here. Okay, so unfortunately, this board, and it's going to be hard to see this. I'm going to see if I can zoom in on this. Right there. Hello, Luke. How are you? Welcome to the stream. We are looking at a possibly nuked iMac G3 Rev A board that I found in my storage unit today, which is, let me zoom out of this thing, which is right here. So and my little clickbaity thing here, I'm going to take this off because I have a feeling it's probably going to pull off anyway. We think we may have a Maxell bomb on the board here. Ooh, oh yes. Yes, we do. Oh, Lord. That's not good at all. Okay, well, let's see if we can get this off here. Yes, it's confirmed. We have a Maxell bomb right there. Right there. That's Maxell, and I see a lot of rust coming out of that bad boy. So let's get some of these cables out of the way so we can kind of see it. Sorry about the lighting. Actually, I can actually brighten this up maybe. There is actually a brightening. Is that better? Does that look a little bit better with the brightness, hopefully? Okay, so, yeah, so that's, yeah. So, Maxell bombs. This is what happens to Maxell batteries. They do this. Now, this looks terrible, but I don't think it's done a lot of damage yet. I think we might be able to clean this with some deoxidizer, etc. I don't know yet. It also could be completely foobarred. It's sort of a hit or miss. But if you look around it here, and I'm going to zoom in. Yeah, I know, I'm getting it off as fast as I can, Luke. I'm sorry. But if we look at the board a little better here, I mean, you can see this right here. It's not really done much around there. So I think the holder was sort of carrying the brunt of it at the moment. I think it might still be a usable board. It's out of there. The one behind me, I don't know. I mean, I might put it on the bench while we're in a stream today and pull it apart and see what happens. Yeah, I know. I mean, the board is not completely corroded away. There's probably something under that battery holder. So I'm probably going to have to take this board out of the chassis, maybe desolder that battery holder. Let's see if I can clean under it, get some deoxit in there. But yeah, yum. Yum. I can feel my hands burning now. It's terrible. Yeah, don't eat this. It's not for your kids. Don't eat it. It's terrible. I think I did get very lucky, actually, because it is definitely on the way. Because what they do is, and it's, I'm trying to do this in the camera. I'm bad at this. I'm sorry. What they do is they swell up, and then finally one end of the battery sort of gives up, and it just lets all of the built-up crap just go everywhere. It's starting to do it, but it hasn't made it there yet. So I hope that this is still a usable motherboard. I don't know. I will say that I don't know for a fact. Yeah, it is. It is a Rev A. It does have A in the motherboard number over here. I will move that over so you can see it. And I believe this is what denotes it being a Rev A, which is right there at the end of that product number, right there. I believe that is what denotes the board being a Rev A. Correct me if I'm wrong. I always like to be correct. I always like to know what I'm talking about. So it's got a Rage. It's got a Rage Pro Turbo PCI video controller. It looks like it's got maybe, I can't tell how much. I can't really tell how much RAM that has on it. I don't remember how much these had either from the factory. But yeah, I'll just let you stare at that for a minute. That looks terrible. But even actually, it's not even that. The holder's not even loose on the board. Like so, usually it will eat the contacts away. Well, it did. It ate this contact away right here. So there's no, yeah, there's no terminal there anymore. So I mean, whatever. I got to get another battery holder for it. Whoopee. Yeah. This is more entertaining than trying to force reflash a BIOS on a ThinkPad. Well, thank you. I'm not sure how to take that. Yeah, no, I think. Oh, so the pieces that you're seeing here, like so. Let me find something. I don't know if I have any. I'm such a disorganized mess here because some of my stuff is still at home and some of my stuff is here. I guess I could use scissors. Yeah, so this little guy here. Yeah, come here. So that is actually a part of the battery terminal that was there. So that's really not that concerning. I can't get that battery holder off until I'll have to take this board out and look underneath it. Oh, I guess I could do that. I mean, if you guys want, we could do that while we're on the stream. Why not? It needs to come apart anyway. So let's see here. Let me find a screwdriver. See what I got here. That's a Phillips. I wonder if I have a Phillips screwdriver here that doesn't suck. Hold that, just bear with me. I've got to find a screwdriver, in my shop. Genius. I have a screwdriver. The electrolytic next to the battery holder. This guy here. It is possible. I'm trying to see. I'm curious what you're seeing. If you're talking about this right here, it's actually really dirty because this was sitting in a box just open like this for a good while. But I think once we get the board out of this, we'll have a better idea of what's actually going on here. And I will trying to figure out a better way so we can kind of see the whole thing in the camera view here. If anybody showed up to this view thinking this was going to be like Mac 84 quality, I hate to disappoint you. They actually look really good from where I can see them, Marius. There's no like scungy nasty around them. It's very dusty. The whole board, like kind of like right here, this thing is just nothing but dust bunnies. But it's actually a very dry motherboard, and I don't see a lot of like goo anywhere on it, which is good. Yeah, like this. This is just a hairball, just dust ball. So, no, this here is just really dirt, and once I get the motherboard cleaned up, I'll have a better idea of if it really is in bad shape or not. But if the battery holder is the worst thing that I have to contend with on this and some cleaning, I will be very happy about that. So. I'll have to send you a picture of the classic I'm trying to get going. Yes, you should send me a picture of the classic you're trying to get going. I would love to see it. This is more entertaining. Okay. Ouch, that board is crustier than I... Yeah, we'll see. I hope it's not that crusty, obviously. Well, what kind of ThinkPad are you working on, Luke? Out of curiosity. Yeah, there's a lot of dirt on this board. So let's get this all disconnected here. All of the ways that you're not actually supposed to disconnect connectors. Here we go. But they also get stuck in here really badly. So we've got all of our power connectors and data connectors off the front. I think we've got, how many screws do we have left to get out of here? We just have this one. Also, it's been forever since I've taken a G3 board apart, and I may not even be doing this right. Okay, so we have that. There is another piece that has to come off of this. I think the side panel has to come off of this, which is fine. So we don't have any rust, so I'll turn it upside down here so you guys can kind of see. We'll zoom out here. So there's no rust down here, so there's no acid that looks like it's really made its way down through everything. Now my other Mac that did have the exploded battery, it did have this issue, so the rust had sort of started around where this port here is, and it was just completely corroded out. So this one at least hasn't started doing that yet, which is good. I'm pro that. Also, if anybody knows where I can find a battery holder for this, that'd be great. I don't know if these are I don't want to sound stupid, but I don't know if these are a standard type of holder. I can't imagine that they are, since it's a weird battery. I guess I could also take this chance to possibly solder in a lithium coin cell holder. So there's our ports. And it's got the mezzanine slot there. And so we've got everything here. So it's a ThinkPad Edge 15. How old is it? Is it like a... So I have an Edge. I was just curious. I have an Edge 14, and it's like a first generation i-series machine. But I know they make a bunch of different Edge machines. So let's see here. What else would be holding this together? If anybody has any tips to taking this apart, I am all ears, because I really don't remember everything about this. I think it pulls up on one side or something. There's something bizarre about getting the system board out of here, and I just don't remember it. So it might be the same Edge that I have then, Luke. This episode of Tim the Tech Guy is not sponsored by Diet Coke, but consumes a lot of Diet Coke. So I don't know if Aaron is still in here or not, but I don't know if he, or if anyone else has any input on taking the motherboard out of this machine. There appears to be something on the bottom that has to come out. Oh, it does. This is literally like a plug-in piece. And I think this is for the video. I think this, or the power supply. This might, I don't remember if this is power or video. It's been a while. Aaron, do you know what this is? It's on the bottom. Is it for power, or is this for video? Also, there's a lag here, so I don't really know how far behind I am on what I'm saying versus the live chat. Okay, so we don't have any corrosion in the base, and that's good. So let's turn the board over and see what we have under here. We have nothing. It is completely clean under the board. There's nothing here that cannot be cleaned. So we do have a little spot right here, which is just a little bit of corrosion that is coming through here. And it's right here where my thumb is. It's a little bit of rust right there. So that's not bad. We can clean that up. We've got a beautiful modem right here. Could probably zoom back out on that. Probably don't need to zoom out to my gut. So no, this doesn't look bad at all. I think this motherboard probably works with no battery at all. So yeah, that's just a little bit of corrosion. Considering how bad the battery looks in here, this looks wonderful. I'm just looking at the other side and the other terminals here. Sorry you can't see that on camera. I will put it back on camera as soon as I'm finished looking at it here. But I don't, yeah, so this is the actual holder. There's nothing on the other side at all. It looks like there was some acid that sort of got underneath it. So really I just need to desolder that, and I think I have some spare boards at the house actually that I could steal a battery holder from. So I'm very happy about that. Yeah, I can deal with that. Those are things I can handle. But you can kind of get the idea if you're looking in here. The rest of this thing is pretty dirty. I mean, it's just really, it's not corrosion or anything. It's just, you can just kind of see it. It's really just dirt. Kind of wipes out. So the answer to the clickbait title of the video, I suppose, is yes. I think it can be saved. It's not too far gone. When I got this, I actually saw the crusties starting on the battery, but it had sort of the tape and the cables over, so I couldn't really get an idea. I'm like, well, it's worth taking a look at. So I feel pretty good about that actually. So I'm just going to set that back down in there for now. So I am happy with that. So I'm going to switch back to staring at me in large screen. I'm sure everybody loves that. We've got a good holder for the top, which is right here. We can reuse that. We are not reusing that. Actually, I kind of wonder. Put it in something where it won't well, I guess I could just throw it away. I don't really have any reason to keep this. Okay, so I don't have my iMac with me right now. But I do have another iMac if you guys want. I could put the other iMac on the table and we can get the board carriage out of it and see what we're dealing with if you guys want to do that. And if anybody wants to share this link with anybody you know, feel free to invite them, because I don't really know where to put the links for these at where people can see them. Let's see here. I'm going to take a look at any texts that I have. Oh yes, so yes, Marius, I I have two Mac Classics that look like that. One of them became just a CRT donor, and the other one I still have the board out of. And the only thing saleable on that board was the ROM chip. Yeah, I have two of the Classics that were just completely wiped off the face of the planet by, and I believe they were also Maxell batteries in them. So. Yeah, batteries suck. I really don't know why they didn't switch to coin cell batteries like the PC industry did, because it would have really kept a lot of old Macs chugging along. But it is what it is. I really, or they had kind of wish they had kept them in a way that they could have easily been replaced. That would have been nice. But, and every one of these batteries, these 3.6 volts, every one of them can do this, but there are definitely brands that are better than others. I feel like the Saft brand batteries, I very seldom see this personal experience. Of course, everybody I'm sure has their own. I don't see a lot of Saft batteries do this. I don't see a lot of Tadrian batteries do it. I guess if any battery is kept in the right environment, it can for sure. But it just seems like the Max Ls and some of the no-name batteries, the little no, the gold and red ones, and the ones that sort of look like Max Ls, they just lose it. They explode. The thing about a battery and a battery decaying is the batteries don't really start to chemically break down until they're dead. So if you have a Mac and you know it has a CMOS battery or PRAM battery, sorry, PC battery. If it has a bad PRAM battery and if you know it's dead, take it out. I don't think I have to tell anybody that's in this chat that, but if anybody comes along and watches this video later and they don't know that, yes, if the battery is dead, remove it immediately, because that when they lose their charge completely is when the breakdown really kicks in. So yeah, I have seen a Saft battery. I've seen them explode. I've seen them get like this, but just nowhere near the frequency of Max L's or the whatever the Top Star, whatever the one that was in the G4 was terrible. Um, that brand, although luckily that one was not. It did not. It had only started to corrode just a little bit on the ends, but it was on its way. Yeah. And then you have like the Mac SE, which is they have a soldered in Varda battery, for the love of God, and Varda batteries are known to explode and destroy Amiga systems. And I have never ever seen a Varda battery in an SE degrade like that. Actually, every SE that I've ever owned and still own that has a Varda battery in it, the Varda battery still has voltage. It still has over 3 volts in it. It's still a functioning battery, which is crazy because those batteries from like 86, 87, 88. I mean, I think the newest SE that I own is an educational model SuperDrive from 91, and that one still had the original Varda, and that one was like still keeping clock, everything. So it's crazy how that works. I'm going to read through the chat now. I almost feel like I need some interlude music for this. Okay, so video is the DB15 connector. Okay, I thought one of these ports on here was like a normal Mac port. Actually, I think it even says that. It has some print on here. It says that the serial port, and I know that port that looks like a serial port actually goes to the infrared port, and I do believe it's actually a serial port. They just don't want you to use it for that. But oh, that's fine. I haven't really a tray load iMac I haven't worked on in a long time. And the only tray loads, it's weird, all the iMacs that I've sort of amassed over time, I've got the Bondis, I've had 2 or 3 Bondis, and I've had three or four slot loads. And here's the thing, I have never had a candy colored one, and it irritates me. Like the tangerine, blueberry, strawberry, tangerine, lime, like none of those. I've never owned one. Somehow the most common iMacs ever, all of the candy colors, I've never owned one. I end up with the Bondis, which I'm fine with, and I've got like every flavor of the DV, SE, and graphite that there is. I've got a 400, I've got a 700, I've got there's one in between. I don't remember if it's a 500 or a 600, but yes, I have several of them. And there's eBay reminding me that I should spend lots of money on something I looked at, and I'm not going to do that. So yeah, and it's a weird connector, this little box here, because it goes into the bottom of the motherboard. So it just goes into this plug here. Yeah, that's weird. Huh. That might be the power input, actually. This little box might be the actual, like, power, because it's got a transformer in it, and it's got some pretty heavy, like, leads coming out of it. So this actually might be where the power comes into the machine at, from the actual PSU and the monitor. So surely that's not the PSU. That can't be the whole PSU for the system. I don't know. Does anybody know that? Yeah, and also, I'm still kind of going back through chat because I'm slow, Marius. I wish they had kept the battery compartment on the back of the machines. I thought that was a good idea. Now, I know those batteries also will corrode up and leak and make a little bit of a mess, but at least it's not sitting on the board, and you can get to it, so it's a lot easier to change it when they're just sitting back there. Let's see here. Decent luck with Varda. I personally haven't had any Varda batteries leak. Never seen one leak personally. Now, if you go to like a Commodore Amiga forum, they have like they make dartboards out of the Varda logo. I mean, they're just like the Vardas have killed so many Amigas apparently. I don't know what makes them leak. Why they would leak more in an Amiga than they would a Mac. Thankfully, not that cheap what they blew. Doesn't have the Rev A have pads for an ADB port? Doesn't. Well, ADB ports on that. So I don't know. Marius asked, does the Rev A have pads for an ADB port? I don't know where they would be. I mean, we have an entire motherboard sitting here at our disposal, but I don't know where those pads for that would be. This has the mezzanine connector on it. That's kind of neat. Not like I'll ever be able to afford or find any kind of accelerators or upgrades for the mezzanine port, because I don't know what it is about accelerators and upgrades for anything these days is they're completely unobtainable. I feel like. I mean, it's like $600 or $700 is cheap compared to some. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if somebody's like hoarding these things, or I don't know what's going on with that. So I don't know the answer to your question, Marius. I don't know if this has pads for the ADB port or not, but I am 98% sure that this is a Rev A board. PSU is on the analog board. Okay, so I wonder if this is just like, I don't know, maybe this is something that just breaks out the different voltages or something. I don't know. It has to be doing something. It may just be the transformer and like voltage conversion or something. Weird. Perhaps it's another voltage converter board, or yeah, and it may just be like a filter board or something, just to clean up the voltage as it goes in. Yeah, I don't know. I've never heard anything about the ADB ports. It'd be interesting to know if there was a easy way. I guess I could Google that. You know, we always Google something. But so if you guys want, I can go grab the other iMac that I have sitting over there. I could go grab that and put it on the bench, and we could take the board, the chassis out of it, and see what it looks like, because it might be a complete loss too. And by that I mean I think I probably just will go do that. Let me find a container for the little screws here. I had a little cup thing here. Hold on. Or maybe I just imagined that. I had something here because I remember going through some stuff and going, man, this would be great for screws. Oh, haha. I got a bunch of these little sandwich bag type things here. Okay, focus on me, camera. Randomly I'm blurry. I don't understand that, but okay. So I'll put all these little screws in this bag so I don't lose them. Public service announcement. Don't format drives over USB 2. It takes forever. Yes, it does. It can. If you're fully formatting them, it can be very slow. Two long screws. I think those went to that unit there. So in my attempt to be organized, I have all of the iMac G3 screws in here, and I have no idea why my camera is suddenly not focusing. It's annoying. Wonder if I can just... Oh, that was interesting. Apparently I can just turn that off. And you can see this wonderful little background that I found, which I think is cool. And I think Marius will really appreciate the pet that's in the middle, just sitting there by itself. I would love to have a little model of that pet sitting there. Says it's still fuzzy. Maybe. Oh well. I am going to set this up down for a second. Actually, I might have set it up for a second. It's going to go up on the top shelf. Also, I have something else kind of interesting. I found this in the storage unit, which I thought was pretty cool. I guess I could do this. It's an Apple CD-ROM drive, but it has all of the markings and badging and the volume control in the front. So I guess this must have been the unit that was in the external housing at some point in its life. And it also has the, you really can't see that, but it has all of the little holes taped up, so you can't put screws in it. So yeah, so I found this out there. I thought it was cool, and it actually has all of the writing on it. You know, the Apple 3D I plus blah 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 from 1994. I don't know, thought that was kind of cool. I've never seen one of those with the actual Apple logo on the front of the drive like that. Your backdrop gets the Marius seal of approval. Awesome. Well, I'm glad. This random pile of parts there. Okay, so I'm going to go get the other iMac. I will be right back. Oh, good Lord. I forget how heavy these things are. Whew. Let me go zoom out of that guy. So there it is. And we switch cameras. So this is the other one. Now, this one I also believe is a Rev A, and I think Aaron has mentioned this to me before, but if he wants to chime in on this, I think, is it the Rev A is easily identifiable by having the IR ports on the front? I can't remember. Is the CD-ROM drive a SCSI drive? The one I just showed you with the Apple logo on the front is, yes, it is a 50-pin SCSI connector on the back. And I don't know how far, like I said, I don't know what the delay is between what I'm saying and doing to the chat, so hopefully it's not like crazy far behind. And also, hopefully my stream is not breaking up, because I'm running this entire stream on a Lenovo ThinkCentre all-in-one tiny with like some AMD A10 thing that is basically running at like 90% the whole time, so hopefully this doesn't suck. Now that said, it's on a 300 meg fiber connection, so at least the internet is not the problem here. Okay, so both A and B have eared. Okay. Is there a difference between them? Speed? Are they both 233s? Okay. I really like the stream with the backdrop. I think the pile of laptops would suit me. Let's see. Yes, and the pet is cool. I really wish I had a pet. Any pet would be really neat. They're completely unobtainable around here. We didn't even have schools that used them back when they were a thing. So I did find a really interesting document at work the other day. I found the technology plan for the school district from 1985 to 1989, and it has inventory lists in there of like all the Commodore 64s and the TRS-80 Model 3s and the Apple II Pluses and 2Es, and there were like in 1987 there were like less than 20 IBM compatible machines in the entire school district of 13 schools, and I thought that was like, wow, how things have changed. Both are 233. Okay. Yeah, the document camera is laggy, Luke, and that is actually the camera. There's nothing I don't think there's anything I can do about that. At least I haven't found a way. I think it's not really a camera designed for a lot of motion. It's really just the kind of camera that it's made to put a paper underneath. Now, that said, this camera has a remote and the whole thing that it does, and it has software. And you can record things. It has an SD card slot, and you can actually record videos with it. And I know that it has settings for that. I just don't have any of that with me. Right now, it's just plugged up as a USB, camera. So maybe there's settings in it. You have to hook it up to an HDMI device to see the settings menu, or use the software, I think. I don't have either of those on here. So maybe I can go into the menu settings, and maybe there's a setting for like frame rate or something. This would be cool if you could turn that up and make it a little smoother. So maybe I can play with that. I'm picking up an 8032. That is cool. Which one is the 8032? Is that I'm assuming the 32 is 32K of RAM, or is that one that's sort of like in my background here, where it's whoops, did I turn the wrong thing on and off? What did I do here? Turn the Elmo off. Is it like that one there? Oh, that is an 8032. So it looks like that. It's got the darker colored keyboard on it and the more like angled look to it. Okay, gotcha. Hello, Retro Tech and Stuff. How are you? Hope you're having a wonderful day. It is very cold here, and I am enjoying the warmth of this studio area. And I am happy that you have joined us. We're about to take apart a Bondi iMac and see if this poor thing has also been battery bombed. So I guess we can. Hopefully I can. Oh, that was a sticker. Apparently these stickers are all petrified on here that are coming off. Hopefully I can get the one I have at home, my original one. Hopefully I can put a good working chassis in that, and hopefully the upper part is still good and the monitor still works and everything. Because this one, as you can kind of see in the picture, it's kind of yellowed a little bit. Its overall cosmetic is okay on this, but it's had a lot of yellowing. I got this from a friend. I know where this came from. This actually came from a friend, and this sat in a greenhouse all of its life. It was like a weird little room on the back of their house, and it had direct sunlight all the time. So it actually has yellowed the plastic, and the one that I have somehow has escaped that. What did I do with that? Oh, I have a keyboard for this too. I just don't know what I did with it. Oh, there it is. I'm also one of those people that would probably just like I'd lose my head if it wasn't attached, as they say. But yeah, this is nice. This is some dirty keyboard. So maybe we can take that apart on a future thing and clean it up. It's actually not very yellowed, but it is cracked right. It is. You can't really see that because I'm talking and I'm not holding it up. It's cracked right there, but I think some hot glue or something will fix that, or some epoxy. It's got a couple cracks on it, but it's actually not yellowed. So, having an extra Bondi keyboard is always nice. So, oh, okay. You're Aiden, by the way. Okay, I don't know. I guess I know who everybody is now in the chat. So I don't know. I just didn't know who was who. Okay, it's just like mine. I usually go by MCB9S or MacBoy91SI, but this is a whole separate little channel that I've created. So, which people that talk to me on a regular basis, how long ago did I make the 3TG logo up? So I'm going to make a YouTube channel. I didn't. Well, I have finally done that. So let's get this thing to where we can. Oh my God, why are they so heavy? See if we can kind of get to some stuff. So I can actually see There's actually, and I don't know if I can get that under the camera. I'll try. Also, I should, wonder if I have something. Sorry, squirrel. See if I can find something soft to put underneath that, because I don't really want to scratch the face of it up. Also, everybody needs a stash of zip disks. That's for the Mac Plus project that's sitting next to me, which the hard drive just decided that it's basically its file tree sectors just aren't going to work anymore. It's a CDC drive. Aaron can tell you all about CDC drives. And I'm afraid the CDC drive, and it might be failing. It doesn't make any noises, but it's been wonky, and it's been giving me all kinds of like not bad sectors, but it's having a hard time reading parts of the disk. Like, so Norton Disk Doctor has been sort of freaking out about everything it does. So I'm going to see if I can make a backup of what's on it and format it again with some silver lining and see if maybe it can just mark its bad sectors and move on, I hope. The drive still sounds healthy, and that's a big deal. So I'm going to put this bag sort of underneath the machine so we don't really scratch it all up and mess it up. We'll stick this out of the way here a little bit. All right, pause to read things. Okay. This AMD, but it's being ooh, 8.1. That's all you, man. A greenhouse doesn't exactly seem like it. No, well, it wasn't stored in the greenhouse. It was used in a greenhouse. This is they had a home office. They had like 3 of these in there, and that was like all their kids had one of these, and they all used them, and it was just a big windowed room, so it just kind of yellowed the plastics on them. I love zip disks. I have so many of them. I love them. And hello, Master Gecko. Welcome to Tim the Tech Guy's first live YouTube stream that works with backgrounds and multiple cameras and rambling's free of charge. I'm sorry to hear that, Aaron. Okay. So, alrighty. So let's see. This has. We have a screw here. And hopefully this board is not completely nuked. I hope so. It might be. This would be great if I had 2 good boards and 2 machines to put them in. It'd be awesome. It's also hard to believe that it's actually getting hard to find Bondi iMacs anymore. They're actually finally starting to go up in price a little bit, and that makes me sad. I'm a fan of I'm actually a fan of machines staying cheap just because I don't like paying a lot of money for them. Okay, so there is. Remember how this works. You take that screw out, and then this whole thing kind of like punches up here. I think the Gecko remote carried into YouTube. So, something that you have to do. It's been a while since I've had one of these apart. I think the whole thing just snaps out. I just got to remember how it does that. Trust me, greenhouse would be worse than what I have, a shed. Yeah, well, that's what I was talking about in my storage stuff earlier. I mean, so much of my stuff ended up in a metal storage building, so you might as well have just put it in a shed. So it's just this thing has been in a storage building for 10 years at least, so this thing might be completely nuked inside. So let's see here. I know that, there we go. And then you have to sort of pop this out. There we go. I just couldn't remember exactly where the pop was. There we go. And then there's no more screws, I don't believe, in it. I don't think there are. There we go. So the whole thing just kind of makes you nervous when you're trying to bend on old plastics. It does. It makes you nervous. So also, yum, this hasn't been washed in a long time. So we'll set that off to the side. Okay. So here we have the back of it, and you can kind of see how we have our sort of legacy connections here. I don't see any rust. That's good. I see a piece of plastic here that looks like it could probably break if you look at it wrong. But I think we take these couple screws out and unhook these cords. We can get this tray out and we can see what this tray looks like and see if it's a revision A or a revision B. Now, I can't really show you because I don't think I can get the camera. I mean, I'll try, but I don't think I can. But right here, oh yeah, I bet I can. Look at that, being wrong. So we can kind of see right here. God, I love the zoom on this thing. It's wonderful. So I just got to position it correctly. So we can kind of see, let me get the focus in on that. So this was made August 9th of 1998. I would say that's pretty safe to say that this is probably a Rev A. It was made at 2:09 p.m. So probably is going to be a Rev A. Okay, so let's go get these. We're going to take these connectors off and kind of set them out of the way. And then there are two screws that are right here. Take this out, and as I recall, this thing kind of like, it pulls down a little bit and then the whole thing pulls up as one cradle. So we'll go on and, for some reason, this connector here, which is, I knew it. Then any pressure, that thing was going to break. It did. So I don't remember what is this. This is the video, right? If I'm not mistaken, is that the video cable? I believe it is. That's a Rev A for sure. Okay. Well, it's a Rev A without a little retainer clip, which is not important, but can't do anything about that. This is definitely the power. So this little guy here is the same little box that we took out of the last machine. So it's always nice when you have the whole machine there and you can kind of see how it all comes apart. So this one, you actually take the little clip completely off of it. So we'll just unplug that and kind of set these aside. Then we'll get these two screws out of here. Yeah, I'm would be shocked if it's not a Rev A, just from the date alone. Although I don't know when the Rev Bs actually were a thing, but imagine it's probably late. I mean, what do you think? Rev Bs are late '98, early '99. I mean, that's the thing. By '99. It's kind of like the evolution moved real fast, you know. Like by the end of '99, we were getting slot loads. So I don't know. Ah, it ran away. Come back here, screw. Also, this office has a whitish cream-colored floor, and it's great if you drop a screw on it because you can find the screws. They don't mix into the carpet. Yeah. So this whole thing is actually just going to lift up like that. So we're just going to take this out, get the cords out of the way, and I don't think we're forgetting anything. And as I recall, it's always kind of a snag on everything kind of cantankerous thing. Almost took a finger off. And I'm going to set this down. I'm actually going to set this down, and then I'll put the board back up on the table here. And so if anybody is curious, this is ow. It's kind of what we have left in the inside. We've got the cooling fan, not Steve Jobs approved. And we have our, I guess this is our video connector. And then this guy here, the round one is our ear to connect our infrared connector on the front. And then we have our power here. And then I don't know, I think this is for audio and stuff. If I'm not mistaken. Probably am, whatever. Let's set this back on the floor over here. Okay, so that's a little clip that didn't make it, so it's not important. Okay, so here we have the cradle out of this, and Reveille is August of 98 to October of 98. Okay. Why did they have to redesign the DV series? I personally think this removable board tray is a good idea. Because the tray assembly sucks hard. Okay. The DVs are easier to take apart. I will say that. Although I do like the tray drive better. Not for serviceability. It's just the tray drives are just, they always work better. You know, the slot loads there's always something wrong with the slot load drive. I mean, I don't ever, I get one, I don't ever try to put a disc in the thing because you never get it back out. So, what do we have in here? Well, we have a Taldrian battery, which we'll zoom in a little here. I think we have a healthy unit here, which will be great. So we'll just put this up here. Yeah, so all the dates on here. This is the machine was made in August, according to the sticker. We got July of '98 right here. You probably can't see it because of the light, but it's got a Taldrian battery and it is not leaking, which is wonderful. But it's about to come out of here. Yeah, so we have a proper battery that is not leaking. And let's see. Usually these have a date code on them. So let's see if we can kind of zoom in on the date code here. Get it into the right angle. Well, it's not going to do it. It's 1998 though. You might be able to see it there. It's May of 1998. So this is the original battery and it has actually survived. Unlike the crappy Maxell thing in the other one. Don't know which machines got that and which machines didn't. Oh, look at that. You can see the number on it now. So this is good. It's dirty. It's really dirty. It's nasty dirty. But I'm not seeing any corrosion here. Now, this is interesting. So the other, where is it? I put it up here. So the boards are different, actually. So the board from the other one has a different video controller on it. So this one has a Rage, let me see if you can actually see a Rage 2C PCI. So it has a Rage 2C. Okay, but this one, the other machine doesn't. It has a Rage Pro Turbo PCI. So that's interesting. I wonder what the difference is between those, or the age difference. Everything else on the board looks the same. Huh. So I don't know what the difference there is. Or which one is older or newer. Yeah, I don't know. If anybody else knows that, would love to know. I guess the cage is missing off of that one too. So this one has some memory in it. I wonder, see how much memory this guy has in it. It is filthy dirty. It needs to be vacuumed or blown out. It's also a 1998 memory stick, and it looks like it's going to be a 64. Looks like it's got 64 megs in it. I think that's kind of how I'm reading it. Now, I don't remember if these don't have any. If these don't have any memory SODIMMs in them, do they have onboard memory or do they not? I don't remember. I feel like there were 2 sticks of memory in these though. Maybe not. Or maybe the other stick is on the other side of this board. There's something about it. I don't remember. I have to look it up and see like how the memory upgrade works. But PC66, I do know that, and I believe there is some limitation to how that they can be configured. And there's a maximum to them, fairly low maximum number. All right, well, I'll see you later, Aiden, Retro Tech and Stuff. I'll see you later. Luke, to answer your question, we're going to get them working at some point. I am going to try to revive my original Bondi that I have at home, which suffered a battery bomb and some pretty bad corrosion. And then I'd also like to, it'd be nice to have an extra working one as well. So I have two. I have one complete Bondi over here, which actually, I mean, I can plug this in. We can see if it actually works. I may power up. I don't know. And see if, I guess we could do that and see what's wrong with it. And then the board that I was looking at earlier, I need to remove the battery holder and clean it up and see if it will work and see if that's something I can use in my original one. And then this one can just go to the existing machine that I have. That just never hurts to have an extra working one. Well, to answer that question, Luke, I'm not sure. If you're talking about a slot load, I don't know where you would put one. Because, I mean, the thing about the fan is you have to be careful in the CRT area of the fan because it produces magnetic waves. So if you're running an unshielded thing next to a CRT, you're probably going to get like waves in the CRT. It's kind of like this Mac Plus thing here. That System Saver thing has some sort of shielding around it so it doesn't interfere with the CRT. If you take a fan and put it near a CRT, just a normal desk fan, and kind of get the effect, you'll see that it'll make sort of these weird ripples on the actual screen. So I don't know how you would do that really. But the things run real hot and they need a fan terribly. The slot loads do, especially the 700 megahertz G3 that I have is like, oh, that thing's rough. I mean, it works, I guess, but I just don't like that much heat. I always thought it would be a great I always thought it would be like a real I don't know if I've lost audio or what's happened here. Nope, it's working. I was looking at the wrong meter. Hopefully you guys could hear me talking the whole time. I always thought they should have made something like that that would just kind of snap into that handle and utilize that for a fan. It seems like that would have been something like, could have had an iMac version of the Kensington System Saver that would just go in the handle and snap in. Seemed like that'd be real nice. Seems like you could make something like that, 3D print it. Have it plug into a USB port or something. I mean, you wouldn't need much of a fan. A USB 1.1 would power that with no issue. I mean, that would work. I don't know what kind of hard drive this has in it. I guess we could find out what kind of hard drive this has in it. So let me zoom out. Zoom. And we can go up here. And, oh, good. So I sometimes I do accidentally mute myself when I'm talking, so it's good to know that I didn't this time. Good. Okay, so let's just get the CD drive. So I do remember this. When you take the drives out of these, you have to push them in, and then there's like a little catch and a spring, and then they pull up. So you push them in, and then you'll kind of feel it let go, and then it comes up, and then you can just kind of. I don't have a voltmeter with me, I don't think. So it'd be really interesting to see if that. This battery might be working still. I mean, you never know. So this has. So that's interesting. So the machine, the computer was made, and it may have been swapped out. So I don't know, because the hard drive has Cafe written on it, which means that someone's had the hard drive. Somebody has accessed the hard drive at some point in here. So the hard drive is an Apple drive. It's a 4 gig. It's a 4.3 gig Western Digital Caviar, and it's was made in October of '98, but it's still a 4.3 gig drive, so that's interesting. I don't know if it works or not. So I think what we ought to do here is put it back together, put it back in the chassis, and see what it does. And I don't think I have. I don't know if I have. I don't have another webcam here. To be great if I had a third camera and I could just move that in and have another view of that, but I don't here. I only have the two cameras. I guess I could move my face camera. I guess I could change that and push this over here so we could actually see what's going on. So we'll just kind of put this back together. Zoom out on that. Also, I don't. Can I put a link in the chat? Is that how that works? Can I do that? Because I was going to say, I think everyone in here is on my Discord server, but if you are not, feel free to come to my Discord server. We would love to have you there. Guess I could put a link in the description once the video is out. Also, I don't know if it's recording this video, and for future playback, the DVR thing is on. I think it keeps it. I don't know. So anyway, so let's everything there. We didn't touch any of that. I guess this is for video RAM here. I think. So, actually, I could probably just move this over a little bit so it's not so far out. Maybe. Yeah, there we go. So I don't know. I don't know if I have any video RAM for this thing. I might. Gonna need this again. Although that said, I think I actually have some like soft towels that are the color of the Bondi iMac. So the plastic is all, you can kind of see in here all this plastic is just like a weird mustard color at this point. You can kind of see it in there. It's kind of a weird color. So let's keep those in their little slots. Yeah, this isn't a real fun machine to, not really that fun to put it back together. But it's doable. It's not the end of the world to have to reassemble this, I don't think. I know that there is some strangeness that you have to do to this. Oh, yeah, the strangeness is all of the tabs in the CD door just broke off. Of course. Now I know why that was there like that. So there's that. Okay. So, whoops. So maybe I take that back. Maybe it's a crappy thing to put back together. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. No, I was doing it wrong. I think I was, actually. I do sort of remember these being a pain to deal with because they have to snap in. There's like a little, you can't see that very well from here with the cords, but there's a little piece right here, and that has to, I remember if that, I think that goes, yeah, it has to go above that lip, I believe. Yeah. So there we go. So it goes above the lip and goes in. This doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, the plastic is just powder at this point. So yeah, that's falling apart. Anyway, I can sort of, I guess that's why so many of them are like this. There's a lot of these out there that are just missing the door. I can't really fix that. You can kind of see, I mean, it's just shards of just brittle, and there's no way to fix that. I think I have a few extras of those, so, and I could probably re-glue the pieces together. I can put it in like a little sandwich bag or something for now, but it's not a real heavy concern. If the machine works, that's fine. probably shouldn't have connected that first. Yeah, okay, so let's get that in. So we're just going to power this up, and hopefully it doesn't spark and catch fire. So don't know why it's arguing about that now, since it's pretty much all broken. Okay, 2 screws for that. I'm kind of grateful I own a slot load now. I don't mind the slot loads, just the 2 things I don't like about the slot loads. I don't like the CD drives at all, because I don't know how to fix them yet. I mean, I haven't really messed with one. I don't like slot load drives in general, just for their reliability issues. And I don't like the ventilation on them. And I don't like the speakers are always rotten on them, and you know, I just don't like that. It irritates me. I don't know why that's not going in all the way. I don't know where that screw went either. I should probably pay more attention when I'm doing that. It might fall out when I set it down. Yes, no? Nope. Okay. Yeah, it's all kinds of coming apart. Yeah, this whole thing is just ready to break. So, maybe this is not the best machine to try to rehab, since it's pretty much just plastics are shot. Good donor machine, if nothing else, but it's always nice to have a second working one. And unfortunately, I've got to pull this all back out because I think I dropped a screw in there. Yeah, I don't know what all that cracking sound is in the front. Oh, found the screw. So, if anyone's cringing yet, yeah, because there's 2 holes that lines up with in there. Yeah, I don't know what all the other crunching noises is. It's a little disconcerting, I gotta be honest. I don't know. I don't know what that would be. There's nothing obviously broken. Rotten speakers, dodgy driving. Oh, yeah. Well, I think if somebody could just sell a kit, I think if someone could just come up and sell a kit to replace the speakers easily, they could probably do pretty well, I think. And I know you can get some cheap eBay speakers or something. I think I've talked to Aaron. I think we've had conversations about that before. But at the end of the day, it's a lot of work. So, some collectors like to do work. Some don't. And I'm in the middle. There are some things I don't mind doing work on, but there are some things that just drive me absolutely crazy. There's also things that I feel like just shouldn't go bad on computers, and so those iMac speakers are just irritating. So okay, these 2 go there, this goes here. You can replace the speakers. They're OEM replacements and not much work. I don't believe you. I mean, maybe I should, but for some reason I don't. And I thought that screw went there, but maybe it didn't. I think I've asked you for a link to those speakers before, and you probably have sent me the links to those speakers before, but I didn't do anything with that information, so I'm sorry. But if there is like an OEM drop-in replacement that, you'll have to show me what you mean by easy. Also, what a terrible screw. It's really a terrible screw that doesn't need to be in here to begin with, but I don't know why I'm really trying that, especially if I'm just going to see if this works. I don't need to put all the screws back in. Yep. So, what do we think is going to happen when we plug this in? Any ideas? That just doesn't fit worth a darn anymore. I guess I could take the webcam and sort of reposition it in front of this, maybe. I think I did have a power cord somewhere. I find a power cord now. Hold on. Okay, I had to go wrestle a cord from another machine. Well, Aaron, I tell you what, you'll have to show me how that works sometime. Maybe I could buy speakers and we could do that on stream. Okay, so I am going to reposition the camera and see if I can catch some of the iMac and see what it does here. So just pardon me while I reposition things. There's someone upstairs that sounds like they're wearing high heels and clogging. So if you can hear that, I'm sorry. Okay. So do we? So do you want to? We want to take any bets on what's going to happen when this gets plugged in here? Or elevate this a little bit. Kind of get my phone out of the way here. Okay. See if we can do a little bit better than that. So, yep. Probably don't really want to stare at the ceiling. Okay, that might be the best I can do. All right, well, let's see what it does. I think yeah. It may fizzle and pop, I don't know. Hasn't been on in a long time. Oh, it made the startup chime. Hard drive is spinning. Ooh, that's a bad sound. I don't know if you can hear that. It's absolutely terrible. We got raster a little bit. It's very dim. Oh, we do. So you can kind of see here. Let me kill this light and see if that helps any. It doesn't look very happy, but it's there. So it's a little bit dim. The hard drive is absolutely toast. It made the worst sound that you can imagine. Yeah, but it is on. Um, Needs the geometry change. It's got got a little bit of a line across here. We could try it again. Ooh, that's clunky chunky. Ooh, God, that's horrible. Ooh, yeah, that is not happy at all. It hasn't, it's orange. Now the light's orange and it's not gone to green yet. So I guess what I could actually do here. We can just turn that off for right now. So we're just going to look at this. Yeah, it actually went green the last time, but it didn't. It's not going green this time. So hard drive's still trying to do something. I don't remember if that's I think that's the eject button. CD drives kind of still works. Okay, so now it's like frozen. Now so it's like an orange light and doesn't really want to do anything else. Doesn't really smell like anything burning inside of it though. That's a nice thing to want to. That's a nice thing to hear. Oh, it's not burning yet. That's wonderful. So we know it needs a hard drive, but it does come up. It did sort of try to boot. So it passed a RAM test, and we got a folder that it didn't know what to do with the OS folder. And we get a startup chime. And horrible sounds from the hard drive. That's rough. That's very rough sounding. So also, but it doesn't have a PRAM battery in it, so. Well, yeah, I know I should, but it does not have a working PRAM battery in it, and I know that these are very wonky without proper batteries in them. So whatever it's doing now could also just be the battery. But the CRT came on. The CRT was clear. It obviously passed its startup tests, which is good. So I think that we could probably put a hard drive and a PRAM battery in this and maybe find another cover for the CD drive or something. Or I don't know if we could maybe fix this or not. I don't know. But if we could, I mean, that's a good start. That's a good possibly. Yeah. I think that's what's happening right now. Is it just doesn't have a PRAM in it. The worst case scenario here is that it's a parts machine, but it's still good. I mean, I don't know if the CRT and the power supply side of my iMac that I have at the house is any good. So this may come into play where This might be the Bondi G3 iMac that I end up with. It may take the 2 or 3 in pieces and just make this one. So, but I mean, I don't know what you guys think, but I think it's pretty successful. It could have been a lot worse. It could have had a bombed battery board, so there's that. So I mean, I feel pretty good about that actually. I'm gonna reposition everything here. And we'll bring Okay, so I think this is mostly working again. I think that's about the same position I had it before. Something like that, close to it. Yeah, there we go. Oh, well. Apparently I have dirt on my face from messing with that. Okay, so let me bring the Elmo back online here. Bring this one back online and then switch them. Okay, so, well, I think we had I think this was a pretty productive little discovery fiddle with something video stream. So this is the kind of stuff I would like to do. This is the space I have to work with on this bench. So I think this kind of works out okay. I think I could use this to do some filming, and it's not terrible. If you guys have any suggestions, you could leave. I guess I have comments down here. I guess you could leave comments. I guess I can say this now, but feel free to smash that like button and/or subscribe, so you'll get notifications when more videos are posted. I think I have that. I think you can do that. I don't know. I may have all the settings wrong for that. I don't know. But this is just the first video, my introduction type video, and I think possibly that it went okay. I have no idea how long this has been going on. So I'm not real sure how far into this we made it, but how long does it tell you? I don't know if it actually tells you. Yeah, it does. Oh my gosh. It says this has been streaming for like an hour and a half, more than an hour and a half. Wow. Yeah, I like the document camera's not bad. I mean, I'd like to have, and maybe like as things pick up or if I get some more viewers or money to do this, I might get like a better camera. But I like the fact that you can zoom in and out with that. It's not a good motion camera, but if you're really just trying to focus on things that are on the bench, it's not that bad. I need better lighting down here just overall. I need some kind of overhead light up here probably that just sort of puts a nice blanket of light on. Also, it would be nice to talk to other people who are doing this and kind of get an idea of what they're doing, because this is completely made up for me. I don't have any pointers from anybody on this. This is just like, oh, I have some stuff and let me see how this works. So it's completely trial and error, but doesn't look that bad. I've seen worse. So yeah. So I guess at this point I'm going to probably cut this stream, and I appreciate everybody coming out and watching. It does mean a lot. And hopefully, I can do this on a regular basis, either through the week or the weekend or something maybe. I have lots of machines. I think I may need a third web camera to sort of put where this one was maybe, so I can, if I have a machine on the bench here, I can have it aim that so you can kind of see what's going on with that or something. I think I'm debating whether or not to keep using this machine on the bench, this little tiny. It works pretty hard to do this, although it's not stuttering as bad as I thought it would. But it's also the computer that I have to use on the bench. So if I'm working on something and I want to stream it and I have to go to Google and start doing stuff with Chrome, it taxes it a lot when so right now the CPU on this machine is running at 71%, pretty much flat rate, just like between 65 and 75%. So it's a pretty good clip. The thing's getting pretty warm. So maybe, I don't know, I may build like a little i5 Dell box or something, kind of stick it back behind this monitor. I don't know. We'll kind of see how it goes, and if we need a bunch more cameras, we may have to play with that. But I may get another camera just to sit at the end of the bench here, so we can kind of look at it from this angle, and I think that would work pretty well. The little camera on the top seems to do all right. That's just a little Logitech C920 up there. And then, of course, if anybody is curious what the document camera is up here, it is an Elmo TT12 ID series. They are expensive, but you can probably find them on eBay or something cheap used. I mean, because this is a fairly, they still make it, but this is an older unit, so I can't imagine that they're crazy expensive used if this is something you would like to try to do yourself. So anyway, oh, also, if you're in the U.S. and you have a Harbor Freight nearby, this bench that I'm using here, this is a very nice. Just zoom out completely here. This is a very nice basic bench. It has two drawers here that come out from under it. It has a pegboard back, and it has a little shelf on the top. And this is a $100 bench. If you have $100, you can go to Harbor Freight and get this and build it. It also comes with a little fluorescent light on the top shelf, which is very handy. It'll fit in a bedroom. If the only space that you have is a bedroom, this is a wonderful workbench. And not just to say like for filming, but if you just want to work on stuff and have a nice workspace, this is nice budget bench. It's all particle board, like it's actually OSB. It's got a nice finish on it. This finish doesn't come off. I mean, I have one of these at my house. I have spilled gasoline on it. I have used it for like working on vehicle parts, things like that. It's very durable. It doesn't look it, but it is. It's a nice coating, and it's just a nice cheap bench. So if you are in the market for having like a more of a workbench type thing, it'd be a good option for you. Just wanted to kind of poke that out there and let you know. I guess I could put links to things, but I'm not really prepared for that. This was sort of a very on-the-fly type thing, so I guess there was some preparation I could have done a little bit more. But you know, I appreciate everybody watching. So like I said, I'm going to go on and cut this stream for now. Thanks. I hope everybody stays warm. It's cold on the eastern side of the U.S. right now. It's a whopping 25 degrees, and that's the high today. It was 4 degrees this morning when I came out of the house, so I hope everyone's staying warm. And I hope that you guys can join me again for another stream very soon. So you all have a wonderful day, and I appreciate everybody coming out to watch the stream. Thank you. Oh, also, I'll be on Discord after this if anybody wants to join in. Thank you. Bye.